Okay, this is part 2 of the chapter 1 main activity. And so the Photoshop book, remember you have that available to you in Canvas. And so let's get started. We're going to be using Photopea in this lesson. So I'm going to go up there and click. I'm going to type in Photopea. And there's Photopea. Okay, so Photopea, again, you're probably better off actually installing it. It will run a little bit faster, but I'm not going to install it because I want to run it basically just the way you would probably get it. Let's see how far over I can push this. Not very far. Okay. So now I'm going to go at the first thing I'm going to do is open the image that we saved in our last class. So I'm going to click on File, Open. Okay, and here we are. And so we've got the image that we saved last time. Open. And there we are, Photopea. There's our image. Like I say, it's the blended border does not come out as well, and I am aware of that. But I do want to make it as big as it can be, so I'm going to go ahead and press Control-0. Okay, that was as big as it's going to get. So we're going to be using the horizontal type tool here, and that's the big T right here. So I'm going to right-click on it. You see that our option is Type Tool. Good. Now, as I'm coming over here, okay, does work a little bit different than Photoshop. I'm going to move my cursor to right about here. Actually, first I'm going to set the stuff up here. So I've selected the type tool. Let me go by the book. And I'm going to come up here and I'm going to go ahead and select the type font that we are using. And it says we're using Tahoma. Sorry, Lucidia handwriting is a different class. So I'm going to scroll down here until I find Tahoma. And as you can see, it's basically in alphabetical order. So I'm going to grab the little scroll thing here, and I'm just going to keep on scrolling. Okay, Tahoma. Okay, and I'm not seeing it. I'm going to tell you that, and that is the truth. Let me look at the spelling here, T-A-H. And yeah, I'm not seeing it. I'm just going to tell you that. So I think I'm going to go ahead. Yeah, T-H-A. Yep. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to use this one here because this looks pretty close. This Tauri, T-A-U-R-I. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that. I do want to check one more thing here in Photoshop or in this just to make sure that it's not way up there at the top. No, it's not. Okay. So we're going to go with that one, Tauri. We're here. It looks like bold is not an option, so we're not going to go bold. This one here, if there are other things available, that's where they would show up. We do want to change this to size 36 font, so we can grab the slider here, or to be honest, we're just going to come up here and type in 36. 36 point. We want this to be white, so I clicked in the color box right here, and I'm going to come over to right about here, and I'm going to pick white, okay? And you saw what I did. White is always going to be this top left corner. Black, the bottom corners. White, the top corners. And it doesn't matter where in the color spectrum we're working, okay? White and black are going to be in the same places. So I'm going to go ahead and select white, and I'm going to click on OK. Okay. And I could have also typed in the actual number, 256, 256. I mean, this works too. I'm just showing that there are different ways of doing it. 256. And that also is going to give us white, okay? Either way works. We could even put it in hex. You remember doing that before when we were doing that in the other portion of the class. And okay. So we've got white there. So now that I've done all this, I'm aligning here. I'm aligning to the left. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to draw a bounding box. So I'm going to come to right about here. I'm going to press and hold the left mouse button down. As I'm doing this, notice the numbers right there. So I want this box to be about 3 inches by 2 inches. And so you can, it doesn't need to be too precise. You see those numbers there changing, okay? Release the mouse button, and we're going to go ahead and type this in. I'm now on page number 49. And on page number 49, we're going to type in national. Okay, this is a proper noun, so you do need to make sure that the first letter is capitalized. Enter, taking me to the next line, wildlife. enter, park. Okay, with that done, we're going to come up here and we're going to click on the check mark. And that's now an accepted, that change is now there. Now, I am going to want to move this, but we're going to do something else before we move it. And what we're going to be doing is starting on page number 50, applying a stroke to this lettering. So I'm going to come down here to, I believe it's this one here, layer style, the EFF effect. Now remember, in Photoshop, this is like an FX. If you haven't been watching the Photoshop videos and you're at home, don't worry about what I just said. It's just trying to make sure people are aware of where things are if they're using both. So this is our add layer style button. I'm going to click on that. You can come up here and choose stroke. So I want to use black for this. You can see that it's red and it's got this red outline. It just does not look right there. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that. And again, I'm going to go ahead and choose near the bottom there. And you see where I was, and I'm going to go ahead and choose that black and OK. Oh, first OK there. Now for the size, the book I believe says 1. I'm going to say pick a number between 1 and 5. Myself, I kind of like 3, so I'm just going to come in here and I'm going to type in 3. Okay, and now I'm going to go ahead and click on OK. Next thing, now I told you that I don't like where this is positioned. So I'm going to use the Move tool. I'm making sure I'm on the National Wildlife Park layer. We're going to talk more about layers in Chapter 3. But when we make a layer active, you see how the color changes there. And so this lighter gray here is going to be indicating to us that this is the active layer. The layer is active. I'm going to choose the Move tool. And I'm just going to grab this and I'm going to put it so it's kind of even on the two sides. I don't want it touching the border. That looks crummy. So I'm just going to put it so it's kind of even on both sides there. And so at that point, we're done moving it. Now, there's one final thing I want you to do with this, and that's to add your name to it. So we're going to go ahead with this top layer selected. We're going to go back to our type tool. We're going to come to about here, press and hold the left mouse button down, and we're going to make a box about 1 inch by 3 inches, 3 or 4 inches. Release. Good. And now we're just going to go in and type our name. Now, if you made the box too small, I want to show you what's going to happen here if I can get to the corner. Press and hold, and you notice the text disappears. So if you made a bounding box and you typed in that bounding box and the text just disappears on you, that's what happened. The box was too small. Now at this point, I do want to make my name a bit smaller than the text here. So I'm going to come right about here with my cursor. I'm going to press and hold the left mouse button down and select my text. Now I'm going to come to here and I'm just going to type in 24 and enter. And there we go. And now we've got this the way I want it. So I'm going to click on the box here, commit. And there we are. Now I'm going to go and also apply its stroke, use the same size to this one. So I'm on my name layer, effects, stroke, 3, OK. And now you notice it pretty well looks the same. Again, if your name is touching the border, this isn't, but I still want to make sure I show you guys how to do it. You're going to click on the Move tool, and you're just going to move your name so that basically you have the same spacing right here, okay? So that these edges here are lined up. There is an automatic way of doing that in Photoshop, but frankly, we're not at that lesson yet. Okay, we're basically done with this picture. So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to go File, Save as Photoshop document. That's the first thing I'm going to do. Okay, and that's the name we had. So I'm going to go ahead and click on Save. Already exists. Do you want to replace it? Yes, I do. Now that we've done that, now we're going to save it again. This time we're going to save it as a JPEG so you can upload it into Canvas for your credit. Let me go File. Okay, and this one it's going to be Export As. Okay, and we're going to export it as a JPEG. Good. And yeah, that's good. And so save to web. Yep. And we're going to go ahead and click on Save. Okay, so now it put it down here, so we can go ahead and click on that there and show in folder. And there it is. Okay, now Other things you can do this way, but I think that's a pretty useful way. So it sent it to the download folder. I'm going to close this. Now let's go back to our canvas because we want to turn this in. Computer 1, Wildlife Park, because you're going to turn it in. I'm going to go to Student View so it looks the same as what you have. Now, come down here and click on drag here or choose a file to upload. So there's two ways of doing this. Now the thing is, because I opened it in this right here, I know where it is, and I can just grab that and drag it right into there and release. And there it is, okay? That is one way of doing this. The other way is I could have clicked on choose file to upload, and then I would have gone to find it and it dropped it in my downloads. I saw that. So I'm going to come over here to my downloads and I will find it right here and open. And that would have also popped it in for me. So there's a couple of ways of getting into this. And then when you're all done, you're just going to click on submit assignment. You don't need to click on any of the other stuff I'm clicking on down here. That has to do with student view. Once you've submitted the assignment, you're done. There really wasn't a whole lot more to do to this. So I'm going to make sure you submit it. Make sure you submit the correct assignment. When I say the correct assignment, I mean the one you made your edits to. Okay, so that was it.